Peace TV English, the solution for humanity.
Deserves Nobel Prize. Who is the most famous name in the world? They gave the name of John and Mary and Muhammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala simply said in the Quran, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرًا. Just 1400 years ago, and just few years back, it was announced on American TVs that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most famous name in the world. But I said that this was not a shocking news at all.
Our speaker, inshallah, will be Sheikh Dr. Mamdouh Muhammad from Egypt to address us on the topic, who deserves the Nobel Prize? A brief background about the Sheikh before I do invite him to the stage. Dr. Mamdouh Muhammad has a PhD in Arabic studies and a vast experience in teaching Arabic to English and Indonesian-speaking students. He is currently a professor and a consultant at the American Open University in Virginia. He has been an instructor at the Imam Muhammad Islamic University in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and has also taught in Indonesia. Dr. Mamdouh Muhammad has a keen interest in the sciences of the Quran and on the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is a regular speaker at worldwide Islamic conferences and has also produced various publications which include an A to Z guide on Hajj and Umrah. I would like to invite the podium to address us on his topic, Dr. Mamdouh Muhammad of Egypt.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أحبتي في الله، أحييكم بتحية الإسلام. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My topic today looks interesting, and I think the most interesting part of it is the end of it, when we know the answer of the question that I will begin with: who deserves Nobel Prize? I selected this topic because in the last few days, some people got the prize, and some newspapers and media raised questions about the value of this prize, or how much really this person or that person deserves the prize. I will cover many aspects. Some of the information that you will hear is so important, and we can benefit from many aspects of it. I will talk about the Nobel Prize and what does it include, and who is Mr. Nobel himself, and when did the prize begin, and a short CV or biography of Alfred Nobel, and different prizes of Nobel, and the general picture of the prize and the distribution of the prize in the world, and some reflections about the life of Alfred Nobel. And I will try at the end to answer the question of who deserves Nobel Prize. But before that, I'd like to give you a small question to think of it. You would ask yourself, why did the first speaker give his lecture from that corner, and why am I giving this lecture from this corner? I think you deserve a prize if you give us the correct answer at the end. This is something to keep you busy during the lecture. First of all, Mr. Alfred Nobel, the one whose Nobel Prize was named after him, is considered one of the most famous names in the world. But I'm quite sure that you know the most famous name in the world is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the most famous name in the world. And I still remember the experience when I was watching the TV, and I was watching Fox Morning News in Virginia, while I was sitting at the comfort of my sofa, and I found that the person on the TV was asking this question: who is the most famous name in the world? Or what is the most famous name in the world? And then after 5 minutes, they brought 3 answers, and they gave the option to the people to select. They gave the name of John and Mary and Muhammad. And after 5 minutes, they came back to announce that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most famous name in the world. Everybody was happy to hear that, but I said that this was not shocking news at all. Anybody who read the Quran would know this fact, would know this truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala simply said in the Quran, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. We made your name high. Just 1400 years ago, and just few years back, it was announced on American TVs that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most famous name in the world. It is the reality, it is the truth. Anyway, Alfred Nobel, now this name is one of the most famous names in the world, and his prize is one of the oldest and most famous prize, and the most valuable one. Alfred Nobel was born in 1833 in Stockholm, in Sweden. His father was a civil engineer. He was an inventor of ways to explode rocks, and also specialized in building bridges and building roads. His father was bankrupt. His father was bankrupt. In the same year Alfred was born. In other words, was he a bad omen or good omen? But his father was bankrupt. His family had to leave to Russia. His father invented sea mines, explosives that are used in wars. This is the father of Alfred Nobel. And the reason I'm saying that because at the end you will find some similarities between the father and the son, like father, like son. His father made a fortune, a big fortune, of these explosives that he invented, and he had private, excellent teachers for his children. Again, I want you to focus on this. The father brought the most famous teachers at his time to teach his children. Nobel's genius was quite noticeable since he was young. And by the age of 17, he perfected 5 languages by the age of 17. And he began to write poetry. And he had many areas of interest. And his father sent him to many countries, European countries, and to the USA to get better education. And I want you to focus on these issues, because sometimes if you want to bring up the level of excellence to your children, you need to think of these issues. He met with many inventors when he was in these countries. Then the whole family moved back to Stockholm again, and Alfred Nobel took his notes with him about explosives. He had some notes and some research written about that. And the liquid that he invented was called nitroglycerin. It's an explosive liquid. I hope you don't invent something similar to it. Nobel managed to manufacture 140 kilograms of explosives. But the factory that he made exploded in 1864, which resulted in the death of his younger brother and 4 scholars of chemistry. Perhaps, as it is explained by others, that this was a turning point in his lifetime, when he found himself and his research was responsible for the killing of his innocent brother and some other scholars.
The more you hear about it, the more you desire to prepare for it. Life after death. Journey of the soul. The day of resurrection. The torment of the hellfire. The reward of paradise. Stay tuned for a life-changing, heart-softening, spiritually uplifting series about the hereafter exclusively on Peace TV.
Know the vivid descriptions of paradise and hellfire from the Quran and authentic ahadith, and acquire life-changing habits to be successful in the hereafter. Today at 6 p.m. and repeat telecast at 5:30 a.m. UK on Peace TV.
Where truth is hidden, misleading quotations create confusion. Where truth is hidden, lack of knowledge and wisdom cause upheaval and commotion. Where truth is hidden, manipulated scriptures and twisted facts emerge. This very hidden truth creates false propaganda, mayhem, chaos, disorder, and turmoil in our lives and the world order. But is there anyone with courage and wisdom? What is the truth, and who has the courage to expose it? because it's the right to know the truth.
Watch truth prevail and lies perish in Truth Exposed by Dr. Zakir Naik every Sunday to Friday at 9 p.m. and repeat telecast at 7:30 a.m. UK on Peace TV.
This event had a great impact on him. Therefore, he decided to use this substance to the service of humans. Instead of using it as explosives, he wanted to use it to serve humans. In year 1866, he succeeded to invent dynamite, and he made factories in 20 countries, and he was labeled, he was called the king of explosives in the world. And many journalists started attacking him because of his invention, and they labeled him the death maker, the maker of death. Not the peacemaker, but the death maker, because of his invention. He continued to use his invention to bring out wealth from the mines, and he died in 1896 in San Remo in Italy, with no one around him except his servants. He did not marry, and he left a huge wealth of $150 million at that time. And he wrote a will. He asked people to invest this wealth and use the outcome in 5 annual prizes in order to help humanity in 5 different areas. In the area of chemistry, physics, medicine, literature, and peace. I don't know whether Peace TV is an outcome of this or not. Sure not. There was a long debate about the interpretation of his will, to the degree that the Sweden government started having pressure on the committee that was responsible for the selection of the winners. The government of Sweden wanted all the winners to be from Sweden, wanted to localize the prize, but the committee insisted that there's nothing in the will of Alfred Nobel that says that. That's why they wanted to keep it open. The prize, by the way, consists of 3 things. $1 million as a prize, and a golden medal that carries the face of Mr. Alfred Nobel, and a certificate of honor for the winner. And since the beginning of the prize, by the way, you'd find 4 people got it twice. Marie Curie got it in physics in 1903 and in 1911. And John Bardeen got it in chemistry in year 1954 and in 1962. He's from USA. And Linus Pauling got it in chemistry in 1956 and 1972. As I mentioned, only 4 people got it twice in their lifetimes, except for few prizes winners from Japan and China and Egypt, India and Canada. All other winners were mainly from Europe and USA. There are a couple of them from India, as I mentioned. Almost in 100 years, the Arabs got it 3 times, by the way. Now we're getting into the essence of the matter. The will of Alfred Nobel made many criteria, and among these criteria, these are the most important one. He said that the will shall be annually distributed to those who shall have conferred the greatest benefit on mankind the greatest benefit on mankind. I want you to think of some people who may deserve according to this criteria. The second is the one who shall have done the best work for fraternity among nations. In other words, the one who promoted peace among nations. Thirdly, the prize is to be given to a person regardless of his nationality. And there were some questions left and raised, and there were many debates about this prize. One of them was why, for example, Kofi Annan got his prize, winner prize, and why not Mahatma Gandhi did not take it, although he was nominated 5 times. And other issues like why not there's a prize in mathematics. There are many issues, and now it's time to reflect upon Nobel's life and lessons, and I hope we can benefit from this. One of the things that you notice that he traveled a lot. And if you see this quality, was the quality of the old Muslim scholars. They used to travel from one place to another to seek knowledge, especially when they were collecting the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So traveling, it's not necessary that you find the suitable type of education for you or for your kids in the place that you live in. So traveling may be a feature of those who seek knowledge. The second is that while seeking knowledge, you will find some hardships. Like in the case of Nobel, you know that his family was bankrupt. His father was bankrupt. They were very poor, but after a short time, they got the wealth. During his experimentation with his invention, his younger brother died because of his invention mainly, directly or indirectly. So sometimes in our lifetime, something negative, something that we don't like happens. Another element that we need to look at is the importance of good quality education. And good quality education requires good teachers. And I mentioned in a previous lecture that the more the teachers are excellent and are experienced, the more good products, good outcome, and good leadership that we will have. And I think that every Muslim should pay attention to this issue. No matter our efforts, how tremendous they should be directed to the right direction, which here I refer to as education. By good teachers, you will have good students and good leaders. With bad teachers, the result would be average and no progress will happen. In every area in life. So how about the area of religion? It's so important to pay attention. This is one of the areas you need to invest your money in. If you have the money and the capacity, invest them on teachers. I'm not telling you that because I'm a teacher, you can hire me to work for you, definitely, but this is the reality. If you get good education for your kids, they become something in the world. This is one of the lessons. And also, the invention of dynamite was a double-edged weapon. Was used in positive areas, and it is used in negative areas, mainly in wars and in killing people. And this is something that you need to think of. If you are about to make an invention, and it has some good elements in it, but the bad elements in it are tremendous, would you go ahead and finish your project? Or would you stop because you don't want to harm human beings. Now, let's ask ourselves, without naming a person, why shouldn't the prize be given to a person who has these qualities? And I'll start talking about some of these qualities. One quality, if we apply most of these qualities to some people, they would have taken the prize almost every year and nobody else would have taken them. For example, we mentioned one criteria is that for the benefit of mankind. So the more benefit to mankind, the more liable that this person would take the prize. Look at this person who spent some years of his life fighting poverty by different ways. One of his techniques is that he promoted fighting poverty by fasting. Look at this element. Muslims fast a month per year. And when we fast, the average number of daily meals, daily and night meals, is 2 instead of 3. In other words, we are saving 1 meal per day in Ramadan. And if the number of the Muslims who fast Ramadan reaches 500 million Muslims, this is the half number of the Muslims all over the world, that means per day we are saving 500 million meals per day. In other words, we can save the lives of 500 million people every day in Ramadan for a whole month, 30 days, just by thinking of the benefits of Ramadan that can help humanity.
Ikhlas is the touchstone of theology. Theology means the study of God. Surah Ikhlas is the litmus test for the study of God. It is the 112th chapter of the Quran, verse number 1 to 4. Kul huwallahu ahad. Say He is Allah, one and only. Allahu Samad. Allah, the absolute, the eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is he begotten. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There is nothing like unto him. It's mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 6, book of virtues of the Quran, hadith number 5013. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Surah Ikhlas is equal to the 1/3 of the Quran. There are 4 criteria for the verification of the true God. The first is Ahad, the one and only. The second is As-Samad, the absolute, the eternal. The third is Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad. He begets not, nor is he begotten. The fourth is Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There is nothing like unto him. Verify today whether the God you are worshipping is true or not with the help of Surah Ikhlas, the touchstone of theology.